What's going on? Welcome to TRU Raider Podcast. I'm your host, TRU Raider. Now, really, I want to start talking. I'm going to start off just by talking about Gardner Minshew. Is he actually the problem? Now, there's been a lot of debate going on over the last couple of weeks. Is the problem with the quarterback? Is the problem with the offensive line? Is the problem with the offensive coordinator, with Luke Getsy? And what is really going on that's causing these major issues? Now, the first thing that I'll say before I get into any of this is that our run game is not 100% blamed on Zamir White. A lot of it's coming from the offensive scheme and the O-line just not being able to get it done. But also, our passing game isn't looking super good. So one of the things I was looking at with the passing game is, what is causing the passing game not to look that good, right? Are receivers not running good routes? Or is the play call awful? Is Gardner Minshew not executing where necessary? And I definitely want to get into that. So I'm going to pull up this video, man. I'm going to give a big shout out to Raider Films, man, because really, that's where it's at, man. This is I like to watch Raider Films breakdown of a lot of things, man. And I want to share this clip with you guys real quick, right? So here on this play, man, Gardner Minshew, he's gonna go ahead and drop back a little bit, and you see a little scramble. He's getting out of the way of pressure, dumps it off to Alexander Madison. On this screen, Alexander Madison gets the first down. No big deal, right? But if you look at this other angle, you're going to see Trey Tucker. This is the same play. Trey Tucker is wide open in the middle of the field. Wide open. Gardner Minshew cannot see him over the offensive line, and so he scrambles around and dumps it off. Now, there are actually being several plays that are going like this. And I got to say that I am starting to get to a spot where I truly believe that Gardner Minshew might be a bigger part of the problem than we originally thought. Because, I've talked about it all the way through the offseason and everything, that I wasn't really sure who I wanted to see do quarterback. I feel like Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell are 1A and 1B. And I actually had some hope that Gardner Minshew, okay, they brought him in to get off to a quick start. They believe that we stood the best chance of winning early with Gardner Minshew. And there's speculation that part of that is because our offensive line is all banged up. Colton Miller's not up to speed. We've been having Cody Whitehair at left guard instead of Jackson Powers Johnson. And, and maybe it's that they believed that we're going to need the scramble ability of Gardner Minshew, in order to get some things done. But what we're seeing is that Gardner Minshew is actually he's exiting the pocket too early. He's not making throws that he should make, and he's putting pressure on himself. There's a lot of plays that we're seeing that he does that little scramble thing, and he doesn't really look like he even knows where he's going to go. And then the play falls apart, and he's running into sacks, or he's, throwing on the run and not doing well at throwing on the run. And so I'm starting to really think that Gardner Minshew is not executing the way that we need him to. Do I fully blame that on Gardner Minshew? No, I think Luke Getsy is still awful. I think Luke Getsy's play calls, we got run, pass, punt going on all game against the Panthers. Run, pass, punt. Run, pass, punt. And it's a little bit too predictable. Also, I think that he's doing too many plays that aren't to Gardner Minshew's style. And what we're noticing is that when we do 4 deep and they're all on the outside, Gardner Minshew is being able to make these plays. And the reason he's being able to make these plays is because he can actually see what's happening. He can see who's getting open, and he can make the throw to them. And now when we have things like Trey Tucker, like the play I just showed, running up the middle, when we got Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer right in the middle, Gardner Minshew's not being able to see them, right? And I've been seeing plenty of tape where there's wide open receivers and he's not making that throw. And I'm wondering, because I remember when we first hired Luke Getsy, I was thinking, is it Luke Getsy or is it Justin Fields? And I was watching some tape, and what I was seeing is breakdowns where they would show Justin Fields would, the first read was not open, and then he would scramble. And, Minshew's doing a better job of not just looking at that first read before he scrambles, but there were so many times on tape where Justin Fields on the Bears had somebody wide open up the middle of the field, and he just was not getting them the ball. And we're starting to see the same trend with Gardner Minshew. So it's like, is this a quarterback problem? Is this a play call problem? What is going on? I'm starting to think that, while Aiden O'Connell lacks the scramble ability that Gardner Minshew has, we aren't seeing a great thing when Gardner Minshew extends plays. What we are seeing is that Gardner Minshew has been sacked 11 times. 11 times, right? And the whole, ideal thing about him is that he's not going to take as many sacks. He's been sacked 11 times in 3 games. And that is just awful to watch. So if we're going to have a quarterback that's continuously getting sacked, I'm wondering if Aiden O'Connell, being that he's a taller quarterback, that he has better field vision than Gardner Minshew, I'm wondering if we see a significant difference if Aiden O'Connell were to come in and run these same plays, right? I've heard a lot of people talking about like that Getsy's system is more built for a quarterback like Aiden O'Connell than Gardner Minshew. And now, I'm no football expert, right? I'm just a Raiders fan. But it looks like Luke Getsy doesn't really do great with a scrambling quarterback. He didn't do great with Justin Fields, and he's not doing great with Gardner Minshew. And I'm still a believer that if we get Luke Getsy out of the way, Gardner Minshew will play better than he's been playing. We saw in that fourth quarter against the Ravens, absolutely tore it up. It looked beautiful. And that was Luke Getsy getting away from the things that he's been trying to install in this offense. And I think that if we continue to just do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, we're going to keep getting what we've been getting. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So either Luke Getsy's got to come out and start calling a whole different kind of style of play, or we're going to continue to see this abysmal, awful offensive line. We're going to have no running game. If we have no running game, then we're going to have a lot of trouble in the passing game. And if honestly, I think that Gardner Minshew's time might be up. Antonio Pierce talked about it early on. When he first announced that Gardner Minshew was going to be the starting guy, he said that, we're going to see for the first quarter of the season, right? Well, this Sunday wraps up the first quarter of the season. And he talked about it, right? He talked about it a couple of days ago where he said, that he would not rule out the potential for a quarterback change. And then pretty quickly, there was this news release that came out that said Gardner Minshew is going to be the guy for week 4. So, it's obvious to me, Antonio Pierce is already looking at Aiden O'Connell thinking this guy's going to give me a better shot. Aiden O'Connell is a quarterback that helped him win this coaching job. And I don't know, man. I kind of have always felt like Antonio Pierce isn't as high on Gardner Minshew as he is on Aiden O'Connell. So we're going to see what that looks like wrapping up, you guys. I definitely want to see if we put any changes in this Sunday against the Browns. If we do not make these big changes with our play calling and getting that run game going on an appropriate level, not run, pass, punt, then I believe if we don't get that going, then this will be Gardner Minshew's last start, and we're going to end up putting Aiden O'Connell. You guys let me know what you think about that.